I think my musical personality can be defined as very strong in many areas, I think. Keeping a certain freshness in our playing is always very important, to keep the audiences engaged, but also to keep ourselves engaged, and to just keep discovering everything there is to listen to and to find in the music that we play. And I also think of myself as a very passionate person and very ambitious, maybe in certain ways too. And I think I always have these very strong goals that I set for myself when I play a new piece or when I perform. And I think to always keep yourself inspired and to keep yourself passionate, it's very important. I always value sincerity very much in our playing. There's lots of uh, people nowadays who, there's lots of students, for example, who play a certain way because their teacher told them to or something like that. And, the music is never bad, but it doesn't sound very sincere. I think this is what I value above everything else. And I think to have your music reflect how you are as a person is what makes you as a musician a real musician. And I think that's really something I'd like to communicate through my music. And I think it's what everybody should strive for. So I've studied with Professor Dang Tai-son since I was 9 years old. And he's been such a supportive teacher for all these years. He still is one of my favorite pianists because he has such a unique style, and the way he plays music is so tender and so beautiful, and also extremely natural, I think, too, which is always what he tells his students. And there's this one thing that I really admire about him as a teacher, which is that a lot of teachers, even some of my past teachers, would always tell their student to play, soft here, loud there, fast here, slow there. And what he tells me is always very different. He tells me, why don't you play like the wind? Or why don't you play like, imagine if there was a little boat sailing on the sea or something like that. He really encourages his students to play with imagination. And I think that's been so helpful to me and been so inspiring to me. And I think he's absolutely right. And to work in this direction is very essential, I think, to become a musician.